Hello friends, my name is Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche. I am a German philosopher, composer, cultural critic, and philologist. My works have had a profound influence on modern philosophy. I was born on October 15, 1844, in the town of Riesa in Germany. My father was a poor Lutheran pastor. I was an only child. I grew up in a small village called Bonn. As a youth, I was very sickly and suffered from migraines and other ailments. This led to me being homeschooled for several years. Despite my poor health, I was able to attend university and earn a doctorate in philosophy. After this, I became a professor at the University of Basel in Switzerland. It was during this time that I wrote some of my most famous works, including Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Around this time, I began a relationship with a woman named Lou Salome. She would become one of the main inspirations for my writing. However, she would eventually leave me for another man. I was devastated by the breakup, and it would lead to a period of depression and isolation. In 1879, I had a nervous breakdown and was forced to give up my position at the university. I spent the next 10 years traveling around Europe, living a rather bohemian lifestyle. During this time, I continued to write, and some of my most famous works were published during this period, including Beyond Good and Evil, The Genealogy of Morality, and Ex Homo. In 1889, I suffered a second nervous breakdown, and this time I was declared insane. I spent the last 3 years of my life in a mental asylum, where I was visited by my sister and mother. I died on August 25, 1900, from a stroke. Throughout my life, I had many interests outside of philosophy. I was an avid hiker and enjoyed spending time in nature. I was also a passionate musician and played the piano and composed music. In my spare time, I also liked to read poetry and fiction. Some of my favorite authors included Shakespeare, Goethe, and Jean-Paul. I was also interested in history and mythology. I dressed in a fairly conventional manner for most of my life, but during my later years I began to experiment more with my style. I enjoyed wearing colorful clothing, and my trademark was my green velvet smoking jacket. I was also known for my eccentric behavior, such as my habit of carrying a cane and my love of walking barefoot. As a young man, I had a very active sex life, and I was known as a womanizer. However, as I got older, I became more selective, and I was only really interested in one woman, Lou Salome. I never married, but I did have a number of long-term relationships. One of the strangest aspects of my personality was my love of animals. I was particularly fond of cats and dogs, and I owned a number of pets throughout my life. I was also fascinated by spiders and snakes, and kept them as pets on occasion. Looking back on my life, I would say that my greatest achievement was my philosophical work. I was not only a prolific writer, but I was also a highly original thinker who helped to shape the course of intellectual history. Now it's time for bed. I'm very tired. I'll dream about all sorts of strange and wonderful things. Perhaps I'll even have a vision of the future. Who knows? All I know is that I'm very sleepy. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe and write in the comments what else you know about this person.